everybody. I am Hunter Mark Ward, and I am very happy today to be talking to the great Scott Evans on our CCM Talks. Scott, how are you, brother?
Good.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
If you focused on one piece of the business, what do you, like client-wise, you focus a ton on veterans, yes?
Yeah.
Why?
My grandfather served in the military, and so I've always had a massive respect of people that served our country. And one of the things that I found out that 25% of veterans and active duty service members actually use their VA home loan benefit.
25%? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
So 3 out of 4 people that are in the military never use their VA home loan benefits. It was shocking. You know, I've always been into education, so that's why I started doing those VA home buying seminars back in 2017 to kind of change, you know, the direction and start educating our veteran population so they could become homeowners. So I think I did like 500 home buying seminars in various states.
That's incredible. I didn't, I mean, I'm sure people watching this didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how it started. Like why I started doing more VA business is because I noticed there was something not going right.
Yeah.
Like, why did they not know about it?
Right. How many loans do you close a year?
Probably around 600 to 700.
And what percentage of them are VA?
About 33, 34%.
That's amazing. I've known you for 12 years, probably 13 years. You grind like no one else. Like, talk about like 24/7, talking to other LOs or loan officers are watching us right now. You don't need to do what you do. Why do you still do it?
Goals and gratitude, right? Gratitude, I'm so grateful for what I have, but I've always realized that every time I set goals, you know, I hit those goals, and I've learned that I have to dream even bigger. And so now I make, you know, crazy goals. So my goal is I want to close $5 billion in personal production. So just dream big. And in order to hit those goals, you know, you do have to become efficient. And also, people say you can't really grow and be successful without having balance. I disagree with that.
Are you balanced?
I am very balanced.
Really?
Yeah. I work from home. I have breakfast with my children, my twins. I have lunch with my wife. Most of the days I have dinner with them. And then I'm on the phone throughout the day. I go present, and then you shut it off around 5, 6 o'clock.
This is going to be completely random, and people are going to be like, what the hell are these guys talking about? But when you and I were in a swim competition with who could hold our breath underwater the longest, you literally did some like Buddha stuff. Like, I mean, I saw you like meditating before you, what were you doing?
I was doing Wim Hof.
That's okay.
I was doing Wim Hof breathing, and I learned that from Tony Robbins, Wim Hof. So I was doing Wim Hof so you can hold your breath longer. And then I was determined to win and beat you all.
And you did.
Yeah.
It was, you actually beat Ron, which he'll be really pissed off for me saying, but
yes.
you did in fact, he had left the pool, but you did in fact beat him. Going back to business, like if you look at different aspects of what, I mean, for you to close 600-700 loans in a year is insane. Different components of technology that you utilize, I think you're number one in the country, not just at CCM, but in the country, like at experience.com.
Yeah.
Is that intentional?
That was intentional, yes. Reviews matter. I mean, look at companies that built their entire Yelp. It was all built off of reviews. You know, so many people look at reviews. If you're going to a restaurant, you're looking at the reviews and looking at what other people say, looking at the stars or a hotel. Same thing goes to someone with a mortgage. So we already had the reviews. You know, we just asked the clients and our customers to give us reviews on all different major sites. You know, Google, Yelp, whatever, Zillow. We had all the different reviews. And then when we rolled out Experian, I just put my marketing girl on top of that and just become number one in that as well. So reviews are important. People look at reviews. I get people calling me because of the reviews from that site. Yeah.
Veterans?
Just consumers calling me.
Okay.
I read your reviews on experience.com. I'm calling you. Can you help me?
Yeah. By the way, do you only ask people for reviews that when like
everyone?
Everyone.
Just
it's literally you're not just looking for 5 stars. I mean, you are, but I mean, you're also looking for feedback.
Yeah, we actually just got a bad review, and we took it super serious. We called the client. We wanted to understand. We wanted to know more. Was it a mistake or what happened? What could we have done better?
Yeah.
I mean, it was very rare that we got a bad review. But we did, and we took it serious, and we wanted to understand why. What could we have changed, you know, just to fix it. She actually misunderstood the situation, but
We always talk about like a client's perception is our reality, no matter what. It's like you got to just fix the problem. We were talking about VA loans earlier, and I think like a lot of loan officers, we were talking about construction loans earlier too. It's like there's misconceptions. Like in my market, Northern California, it's amazing how many listing agents won't accept a VA offer because they don't understand it. What do you think are the biggest misconceptions of VA loans?
that they're slow. It's going to be very strict on the property. That's why a lot of listing agents don't take them, or they think that if they take it, they're going to have to pay all this additional money for, the repairs or termite, stuff like that. The consumer can pay for the termite clearance. So unlike other loans, you don't have to have termite, where VA you do have to have
Yep.
Section 1
Yep.
clearance. But the veteran can pay for that. There's also the VA escape clause, which is essentially the mandatory clause, which a lot of agents don't know what that is, but everyone has to sign that. And if it doesn't come in at value, then they can back out and get their deposit back. But the biggest myths for veterans are, one, they didn't think they have enough credit, like their credit was not good enough. And VA doesn't have a credit score specific, guideline, right? You just fit into kind of buckets and stuff. They didn't have enough income to qualify, so then they just, like, I can't afford a home, and they don't realize they could. So credit, income, they're too scared of the process. They're overwhelmed, right? So they don't start, and they just keep putting it off. But a lot of veterans didn't know that they can actually have 2 VA loans at one time. That's another myth.
I didn't know that.
You did that? Yeah. You could have 2 VA loans at one time. You could buy a multi-unit. They could buy a 4-unit,
As a primary,
as
right?
a primary, yeah. So that's another one, which they have to hire a property management company for the other 3 units for us to be able to use the rent on those other 3 units to qualify.
Okay.
So it's a little trick.
Got it. When can you use 2 VA loans at the same time?
So if someone has a current VA loan,
Yeah.
because there's no limit on a VA loan whenever you have all your eligibility restored, right? There's no limit except for what you can qualify for. But so let's say someone buys in Florida, right? They get a $300,000 VA loan. Then they're stationed to San Diego, and each county has different limits once a VA loan is used. So there's a calculation. So let's say California is now at $1 million, right? And they just use 300,000. So conceptually, they could probably get a $700,000 at 100% VA loan.
Got it.
But if they went to, Texas, they might only be able to get, 800,000, right, on a VA loan, and they already used 300, so they might be able to get 500,000.
Got it.
So it's a really simplified, explanation version, but that's how it works.
Yeah.
But they could go higher than that if they bring in 25% of the difference between the new home purchase and what we approve them for 100% financing.
I'm sure my team's going to be like, Hunter, I cannot believe you just said that you didn't know that, but it's okay. Your business model is presenting to a ton of realtors.
I've changed my business model to going after real estate agents. That's my customer. It's always really been my customer since I've been in
I was
the
going to say, you
business.
say you've changed, but what was it 5 years ago compared to today?
Well, I was doing a lot of seminars. I was doing the seminars with agents, but then as business changed,
got it.
and unfortunately, when I was doing the seminars in San Diego, a lot of the veterans that would come into the rooms in 21 and 22 now wanted to start buying somewhere else in the United States, and so it was harder to keep those clients, because once they went into another place in the United States, an agent got a hold of them and then referred them to the lender.
Yep.
So I pivoted my business, working with Matt Weaver, and now I do events for the real estate community. So I'm constantly in front of realtors twice a week.
I was going to say, like, how many, like, just so people understand the scale, like, what are we talking about?
Probably twice a week, where I have anywhere from 30 to 60 to 80 agents in a room. I go do them in San Diego, Orange County, LA, different places in San Diego, different places in Orange County, different places in LA, Palm Springs, and Temecula, or Riverside. And so I just make my rounds, do 2 events a week into different areas, and then a new event comes up, and then I just keep making my rounds.
How many people showed up at the first event?
Probably around 30.
How do you get people?
Email marketing, initially, and then just calling, prospecting. It's a combination of both.
So, and that's your day. I mean, like if you said your highest and best use is what?
I present, I lead the team, I call agents to get offers accepted, and I'll go present at an office for a big team. So that's all I do is present.
Like literally, when you say, I think something that people do not do, not like I just discovered it, like where I'm like on the phone with the buyer, with the buyer's agent, like trying to orchestrate how we're going to write the offer. How much are you doing that?
I'm not doing that anymore. I have a team that does that now. I've been able to build a really solid business that creates balance for our whole organization too, my entire team. So we actually became a business. So everyone stays in their swim lane, does what they need to do, and we're missionaries, not mercenaries. Like everyone's not is for the entire good of the group, not for themselves.
Love it. How do you keep everyone motivated? Like, I mean, actually, how do you keep yourself? I mean, you've funded. I mean, I don't know, for probably $6-7 billion in loans. I mean, if not more. Like, actually, it's probably more than that. What keeps you motivated, and then how do you keep your team motivated?
For me, to keep myself, I just set a big lofty goal, 5 billion in personal production
In a year.
in a year.
Yeah.
So that's my goal. You guys all heard it. I'm
Yep.
not stopping until
And I believe you will.
And I'm very competitive. I like to compete with Andrew and Matt. So it's fun to compete. And then we do little mini competitions within our group too, where in our team we have competitions within our group to keep it fun and exciting. Between all the different mortgage advisors and stuff like that. And then I take them all. When we hit our goal, we go to Disneyland and California Adventure VIP tour.
Nice.
So as a group,
I like that.
yeah,
How many people on the team?
we have 51.
51 people on the team.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You got loan officers listening to this, right? If you were coaching them and you had 5 minutes with them, what would you tell them?
I've been doing this now almost 20 years. So this didn't start overnight,
Yeah.
right? You got to start somewhere. And it starts with you. And it starts with, figuring out a business model that works. Mine was just cold calling realtors. Hey Hunter, I noticed you had a brand new listing on 123 Main Street. Congratulations. You say thank you. Hunter, I like to align myself with top and active agents just like yourself, and I want to sit down with you for about 10 to 15 minutes where I can share with you how I can help you add even more transactions to your year in 2025. Hunter, are you available Monday or does Tuesday work better?
Tuesday.
And that's all I would do. I would just go and present in front of agents, constantly present and present and present. That's what they need to do. It's like business is not just going to come knocking on the door. Social media is not going to be this
I was going to say,
magic
I don't
trip.
think, I was talking to Dan Lemishev earlier, and it was like, even with AI, we're using it, but it's like people have to pick up the phone and talk to people. Fair?
Correct. Yes. The phone is the most powerful weapon that we have to generate business. That and then face-to-face. Both go hand in hand. So it's, people just, they need to prospect every day, go out and get, go after agents if you like going after agents, right? And build relationships. They're working with someone and you need to provide enough value and eventually pull them off with who they're working with and then for them to start working with you.
Yeah.
It's not just going to like fall out of the sky. So you have to go get it.
Don't you think you also have to execute, though, too?
Yes.
Right? You have to create a perception of value and then execute on the value.
Correct.
And your team does that.
Correct.
Like, what do your realtors say about you?
God, I don't know. It's crazy. They love us. I have raving fans now. Raving fans. When I'm done with an event, there's a line waiting to take pictures with me like I'm a superstar. Agents will bring other agents to our events, and they're so excited for them to then witness what the material we're presenting.
Are you coaching the agents?
So we're not coaching them. We're just giving them strategies in order to win in today's market.
Got it.
And so it grows organically from that. From one agent brings another agent, and they bring other people, and it keeps growing that way. And then they keep coming back and keep coming back. 700 agents have come to our events in the last 2 years, 5 times. I've had people that have come 10 times. So we've created this environment where they keep coming back, they enjoy, they're motivated, and then they bring other people. And that's how we're growing now organically on our events.
How do you scale execution? So, like, if you think about it, right, like salespeople go out and sell,
Oh.
right? And going back to the whole thing, you create
I had to
you
answer
create a
this.
perception of value as opposed to, I personally think it's like it's easy to create a perception of value. That's why people don't like salespeople because they create a perception of value and then they don't execute on it, right? It pisses everyone off. How you've been able, like, if you're closing that kind of, people can be listening to this going, I can't relate to Scott because he closes 700 loans a year and he has 51 team members, whatever. You did something to scale that execution. Like,
Yeah.
what is it?
Well, so in the beginning, is eventually it's you can't do it on your own, and you hire, your first employee, right? And then I remember in the beginning, I did work 7 days a week, for 5 years straight, right? I didn't have a family, right? So I was working 7 days a week, 5 days, 5 years straight. Hired an assistant, and then hired another team member. I remember I would be working all throughout the night just emailing people. So I couldn't call them, so I'd be just emailing, copy and paste, doing email follow-up because I didn't have a CRM. So I'd take the same follow-up and I'd send it to the next client and send the next client to the next client, right? So I'd follow up with people all throughout the night, et cetera. But that wasn't that was just in the beginning. Now, what really turned the corner is there's this gentleman, Daniel Ortiz, hired him out of college. He's worked for me for a long time in every single different position. And I moved him into my implementation guy. So he implements all the ideas that I come up with and create, and then he implements. And that was the that was the key catalyst that has really allowed us to grow. Is I have someone that all they do is just implement something new. Daniel, implement it.
Yeah.
So that was a key component that I put into my business. Not everyone can do that yet.
No, but I think it's important to find. I mean, like, you need to surround yourself with an implementer.
Yeah.
Period. It's like,
I used to be the implementer.
Yeah.
Right. That was me. But now I have someone that I can delegate that to, which now creates the balance because I don't have to be working at night implementing all the ideas and creating and putting it together. I have someone else to do it.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Implementer. You just hire one.
Well, I have one. I mean, I got an implementer, but I
Okay.
mean, yeah, no, it's
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer, and it makes you honestly enjoy your job more, right?
Yes, yeah.
Scott, thank you. I mean, I'm hopeful. I would expect everybody to take. I mean, I'm the interviewer, and I took stuff away from it. So
Thank you.
For your time, your energy, and everything you bring to CCM.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Thank you.